A large, black footprint. Good evening, Doctor. My name is Dr. Watson. Pleased to meet you.
Good evening. I am Dr. Gibbons. Likewise.
Hello, I'm over here.
I have come to see you about one of your patients. Margie goes by the nickname Nutcracker, who gets her prescription from the clinic. She's a lady of the night and is afflicted with a venereal disease.
I know who you're talking about. Indeed, Margie has syphilis and is being treated with mercury.
Do you have her address?
No. And for your information, she left London for good 3 days ago. She felt threatened.
Margie felt threatened? But by whom?
I believe that Margie was particularly scared of a terrifying man who attacked her once.
Did she say the name Pizer or Pyther?
Unfortunately, she didn't give a name, but she described a man with shifty, rat-like eyes and a mouth twisted in a sinister grimace.
Did Margie have any idea where this man who terrified her so much might be found?
No, but she told me that another girl who'd been attacked like her had told her that this man worked in a cobbler's run by an old Israeli. Also, she saw him again last week, the night of the big fire. She told of going to see the fire like most everyone else in the area. While there, she recognised her attacker in the crowds gathered at the warehouses. There was no mistaking a face like that, she said. She kept an eye on the man the whole time the firemen were working in order to avoid him.
Pardon me, Doctor, but who made the large black footprints there near the beds?
The brother of one of my patients. The poor thing had a leg amputated after colliding with a carriage. We arranged to find her a prosthesis.
Prostheses are very expensive. How did this man pay?
He told me that one of his uncles gave him a walking stick with a chiselled silver knob. I agreed to accept this knob in exchange for a simple prosthesis with harness. But this object is of great value, and I could finance half a dozen other prostheses by selling it on Petticoat Lane.
Doctor, I have reason to believe that the silver knob that you possess is from a cane that was stolen by the man who brought it to you, and I believe I know to whom it belongs.
That's what I was worried about. The story of the uncle seemed a little strange. Nevertheless, you must have proof of what you claim. I will show you all of the knobs that we have here. If you find the knob that the young man gave me, I will believe you.
Okay, sounds easy enough. It sounds like there's a horse in here.
So be it, but something is bothering me. I will need a complete cane, not just a knob.
Don't worry, dear chap, build one. I can loan you some tools. Make use of the odds and ends in my cupboard. It'll help get rid of it.
Well, I shall try. I will have to remember the description that Sickert gave. Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Until we meet again, my dear colleague.
Wait, hang on a second. Okay, so we need to assemble the correct walking cane. Walking stick, cane. So it's an ebony stick, 35 inches long, a round knob made from chiselled silver, with a ring around the middle of the same workmanship, just like the tip for that matter. Now this looks like it's ebony. Chiselled knob, chiselled tip, and a chiselled centerpiece.
There, all done. Holmes couldn't have done better himself.
What can I do for you, my dear colleague?
I believe I found the knob from the stolen cane, which I succeeded in putting back together.
That's the one. And yet I cannot give it to you, Doctor. I will only return it to the police, and only if there is an official complaint against me.
Would there be a way to convince you to give me the cane?
Find me a dozen solid adjustable harnesses for wooden leg prostheses, and it's yours, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Until we meet again, my dear colleague.
I don't think that's how it works. Are you sure that you're a real doctor? Anyway, let's just back out of here.
This interview with the doctor revealed an important fact. Leather Apron could not be the Bucks Row murderer. According to Margie, the villain passed most of the night of the crime at the fire. He could not have been at the scene of the murder at the moment it was committed. He is nonetheless a dangerous character.
The cobbler that we need is not far from here. Actually, I believe this is the gentleman.
A cobbler's shop. There's nobody here. How very odd.
I'm sure that there is someone here. They wouldn't leave the front door open and unlocked.
I say, these things look like harnesses. Oh my, they are noisy. Good evening, sir. Pardon the interruption. The door was open. I didn't think that I would find anyone working at this hour.
Good evening, sir. I didn't hear you come in.
Say, those things that made noise, they are really harnesses, aren't they?
Yes, horse harnesses. But I must tell you, sir, that the store is normally closed at this hour. That is why I've asked you to return tomorrow.
I didn't come about my shoes. I came to speak of a cobbler, perhaps one of your former employees, a man with very particular habits.
You aren't with the police by any chance? I'm sorry, but I do not want to speak of anything but shoes with you.
I am not a policeman. I am Dr. Watson. It's Mr. Finlay, who told me that you might be in a position to inform me.
Ah, that Mr. Finlay is a very brave man. And if he sent you, then you must certainly be a worthy man also. So, Doctor, who is this cobbler with strange habits?
The man of whom I speak is called Pizer or Pyther, a man with a frightening face. Do you know him?
Yes, John Pizer. He worked here for a while, but he is no longer here.
Do you know where I can find him?
No, and if you look, you will not find him.
Why?
Because he is in hiding, Doctor. You see, a week ago, a horrible murder took place in the neighborhood. A rumor circulated that he might have been responsible for this crime. They say he has quarreled with women of certain virtue in the past, if you understand me.
Isaac, it is about the Bucks Row case that I have come to see you. I have the certitude and an incontestable witness that Pizer is innocent, at least of this crime, although he has attacked a number of street women. If he doesn't come forward to explain himself to the authorities, he is condemned to hiding and to take the fall for this murder. Furthermore, it will cast suspicions on your community because they must be hiding him. And while the whole police force is hunting for him, they cannot concentrate on the real assassin who roams the streets and, one never knows, may take any one of you any day.
If what you say is true, your visit is a godsend to our community, Doctor. I tell you something. I know Sergeant Thick, an honest policeman who lives in the area. I'll tell John's family that he must go there to explain himself. But if you could please go as soon as possible to the police to give them this report that you say is incontestable.
I will go as soon as I take leave of you.
Thank you. If I can ever be of service in any way, do not hesitate to ask.
Could we transform your horse harnesses into harnesses for wooden legs? Adjustable harnesses?
A good craftsman can do anything, Doctor. And I do believe that's what I am. Come back in a while and it will be done. That will be my thanks for what you have done.
I shall return later.
At your convenience, sir.
I am spent. I would like to return home. but I promised to go to the police as soon as I could. Now then, let's go to the police station.
Well, yeah, that's exactly where we're going now. Although it's nice to have a hint.
Will you?
Yes.
Hey, Doctor, you seem tired. Were you wandering the darker parts of Whitechapel all night?
You could say that. I have some information on Leatherapron, the man of whom we spoke earlier.
Do you know where he is?
No, but I can clear him of the Bucks Row crime. A witness proved him totally innocent.
Oh, Watson, is it only now, after many hours of walking, that you decide to pass on the important message that Inspector Aberline is waiting for?
But, no. But what are you doing here, Holmes?
I was worried, Watson, and with good reason it would appear. Go give the message to this policeman and let's go home. Nobody appreciates me hanging around here, you know, and it's freezing cold.
Ah, Creddle, none too soon. You will take the testimony of this...
No, you continue with your duty shift. I must find Chandler in Ambury Street. He's struck again.
Who?
The murderer, the Bucks Row assassin.
Hanbury Street. Let's go, Watson. We have no time to lose. Hanbury Street. Let's go, Watson. We have no time to lose.
Looks like he hacked her up good, this girl.
I have nothing to ask.
Looks like he hacked her up good, this girl.
The murderer is a foreigner. I know that for sure.
This time a killer beat her to a pulp, the slut.
Wow.
Looks like they're offering a reward to turn in the Whitechapel killer. Even a pardon to the accomplice who rats him out.
I know the killer. It's a fact. I know who it is, but I can't say. I won't say.
Wait. Isn't this the victim?
I have nothing to ask.
Curious.
You can go in, Mr. Holmes. She's there. We didn't touch a thing.
I do know that these character models are randomised. Still, it's a bit creepy.
It was very good of PC Chandler to let us pass. He said no one has touched the corpse. It's the perfect opportunity for us to put our skills to the test. Watson, let's not waste it. I have nothing to ask. Bloodstains on the wall. There are no trails on the ground. There's no sign of a struggle. 2 combs, curiously arranged. A piece of coarse muslin. So, Doctor, shall we examine our victim?
Ah, I'm tired, Holmes. I'm not sure if I am in a state to do this work.
Come, Watson, there is little time. Show me what you're made of.
Oh, my God.
Pray, Watson, pull yourself together. Can you establish the time of the crime?
The extremities of the corpse are cold and rigor mortis is beginning to set in. I would say that the murder was committed over 2 hours ago, before 4:30 a.m.
A torn envelope. It smells of rubbing alcohol. It contains 3 pills. I will take one. 2 should suffice for the police. Let's look at this poor woman more closely. The tongue is swollen. A bruise. The victim's face appears to have bruising, wouldn't you say?
Under the maxilla and cheek. There is less on the right side.
Look at her neck. What can you tell me?
There are 2 incisions.
Now let's look at the stomach, or at least what remains of it.
It's dreadful, Holmes. Who could do that to someone?
That's what you're here for, Watson. Tell me what this man has done.
The stomach has been entirely opened and... Oh, my God! A number of organs have been removed.
So you're telling me that the organs were removed, Watson. They weren't ripped out.
Not at all, Holmes. On the contrary, this is clearly the work of an expert. I couldn't have done any better myself. And the uterus is missing.
Looky here. It would seem he has a mark on his left hand. The victim must have worn a large ring or several little ones, and someone pulled them off forcefully. This detail will be very valuable, Watson. You can be sure of that. There are no trails on the ground. There's no sign of a struggle.
I think I have everything.
The blood is a dozen inches or so from the ground. My dear Watson, now that we have found all of our clues, nothing remains but to subject them to our most likely hypotheses in order to deduce the facts.
Okay, now I know that these can go... Well, they go automatically. I'll just shove them on here. So, let's try and deduce these. Know that the victim wasn't dragged. She was still alive when her throat was slit. And the murder definitely took place on the premises. From where the bruises are, the murderer held the victim's chin with his left hand. The right cheek was a more prominent bruise. So while he used his left hand, he must have sliced with his right hand. She was definitely strangled. Okay, that's good. Green means correct. Yes, her tongue is bloated. She was definitely strangled. I'm going to assume that the envelope was brought out by the victim. And she must have been holding it in her hands. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that kind of implies that Miss Chapman was searched, and he obviously did not panic, as they are in some kind of order. I think if he liked combs, he would have taken them with him. Watson confirms that the murder was around 2 hours ago. Yeah, that's pretty much the only conclusion we can get to at the moment. Right. I don't think the murderer would have panicked, as he is in someone's back garden. I'm pretty sure the blade was sharp, as he used it to cut out organs. Well, he definitely used a weapon. But yes, he cut out organs, so it must have been a pretty decently sized weapon. No, that's definitely not drawings. The glottis. I'll have to look up the glottis, but from the looks of things, he wanted to decapitate her. It wasn't ripped out, and it wasn't eaten. It was removed and taken. Yeah, he must have some medical knowledge. Wait, what am I missing here? Oh. Well, she definitely did not die of fright. She was strangled and had her throat slit.
I hear a noise coming from the street, Watson. The authorities are arriving. It's time for us to go.